Have you ever sat in a classroom wondering if any of this will actually matter? Maybe you've watched your friends collect degrees while you're building something no one understands yet. Maybe you've heard the disappointment in your parents' voice when you mention dropping out. Or maybe you're tired of explaining why you're taking a different path while everyone else follows the blueprint. If that's you, if you've been told that success only comes with the right credentials, then this story is for you. Because once there was a 24-year-old man named Carter who dropped out of a top engineering program with just 2 semesters left. His family stopped talking about him at gatherings. 3 years later, he built a company worth $2.3 million teaching the exact skills colleges wouldn't. Stay with me until the end. This might change how you see your future. Carter had entered State University at 22 years old with dreams that made his parents cry happy tears. He was a junior studying computer engineering with a 3.8 GPA, a scholarship recipient, the pride of his family. His mom worked 2 nursing shifts to help with expenses his scholarship didn't cover. His dad spent 60-hour weeks as a mechanic. In Carter's dorm room hung a framed acceptance letter his mum had laminated like it was the Declaration of Independence. He was the first person in his family to go to college. And for 2 years, Carter was exceptional. He aced algorithms, mastered data structures, got praised by professors who saw him as the kind of student who made teaching worthwhile. But something felt wrong, like wearing shoes half a size too small. He'd memorize theories for exams, ace them, then forget everything by next semester. The knowledge felt temporary, borrowed, not really his. Then something changed. Carter started a YouTube channel explaining coding concepts in plain English after spending 3 hours helping a struggling classmate understand recursion. He posted his first video on a Tuesday night, expecting maybe his roommate to watch it. Within 2 months, he had 500 subscribers. People commented things like, "I finally understand this," and "My professor spent 4 weeks on this, you did it in 12 minutes." His methods were simple, visual, practical. His professors called them too simplified. His viewers called them life-changing. Carter started noticing something that made his stomach turn. His 12-minute videos were helping people land actual jobs faster than his 16-week university courses were preparing anyone for anything. And he started wondering a dangerous question. What if the paper doesn't matter as much as the skills? The cracks appeared slowly, then all at once. Carter's grades slipped from A's to B's, then B's became C's. He started skipping 8 a.m. lectures to film videos. His channel hit 5,000 subscribers the same week he missed a critical midterm. He was spending 40 hours every week on content, scripting, editing, answering hundreds of comments. His university work started feeling like busy work, like someone else's dream he was living out of obligation. Professor Anderson pulled him aside after a failed exam, concern etched in the lines around his eyes. "Carter, you had the highest score in Introduction to Algorithms last year. What happened?" "I've been working on some projects." "Projects don't replace fundamentals. You're 2 fails away from academic probation. Is this really worth throwing away your future?" The academic warning letter arrived 3 days later. His mum called that night, and Carter could hear her crying through the phone. "We didn't sacrifice everything for you to waste this opportunity." The pressure mounted from every direction. His channel was making $800 a month now, more than his campus job ever paid. But his scholarship required a 3.0 GPA. He was sitting at 2.7 and dropping. Finals week became decision week. Carter had a choice: study for 2 core classes he was failing, or launch his first paid course, something he'd been building for 3 months. Code Your First App in 30 days would sell for $47. He'd put 200 hours into creating it. He chose the course over the exams. He failed both classes. The academic dismissal letter arrived on a Saturday. He was suspended for 1 semester, required to reapply. Scholarship terminated permanently. Carter sat in his dorm room staring at those 2 words, academic dismissal. His dad's voice through the phone was worse than yelling. It was quiet, defeated. "Do you understand what you've done? Your mother's working herself to the bone, and you're playing around making YouTube videos?" His mom wouldn't talk to him at all. His aunt sent a text 2 days later. "Your cousin just graduated with honours. We're all so proud of her." The implication hung there, heavy and unspoken. Carter moved back into his childhood bedroom in his parents' small 2-bedroom apartment. His old robotics trophies sat on a shelf, physically unchanged, but now they felt like they were mocking him. His high school valedictorian plaque hung on the wall, a relic from someone he used to be. His friends filled Instagram with graduation caps and job offers from Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Carter's story was unpacking boxes and avoiding eye contact at family dinners where relatives asked, "So, what are you doing now?" At 2 a.m. on a Thursday, Carter stared at his laptop screen. His course had sold exactly 3 copies. Total revenue, $194. His student debt, $28,000. Professor Anderson's voice echoed in his head on an endless loop. Is this really worth throwing away your future? Maybe everyone was right. Maybe he was just another dropout statistic who'd confused a hobby with a career. The desperation phase hit like a slow-motion car crash. Carter sent out 52 job applications in 3 weeks. Every rejection email read like a copy-paste. "We require a completed bachelor's degree for this position. Your background is impressive, but we've moved forward with candidates with formal credentials." Have you considered finishing your degree first? The world had a single answer for people like him. You're not qualified. Family dinners became torture sessions. Relatives asked what he was doing now, and he'd mumble something about online education while they nodded politely and changed the subject. His LinkedIn feed was a highlight reel of former classmates with software engineer at Amazon in their titles. His mum's church friends would corner her. "My son just got promoted to senior analyst," and his mum would find a reason to refill her coffee. Carter's course sales plateaued at $600 a month. It wasn't enough to live on. It wasn't enough to prove anyone wrong. He opened the university re-enrollment application and stared at the essay question. What did you learn from this experience? The cursor blinked. He couldn't write it because he didn't know if he'd learned anything except how to disappoint people who believed in him. His best friend from college called with news about a $120,000 job offer. "Dude, just finished the degree. Do YouTube on the side like a normal person. You're making this so much harder than it needs to be." Carter opened the university re-enrollment portal at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. His finger hovered over the Submit Application button. Everyone was right. Everyone had always been right. Then his email notification pinged. A message from someone named David. Subject line, "You changed my life." Carter almost deleted it as spam. "Carter, I'm 34 years old with no degree. I've been rejected from over 100 developer jobs. Your course helped me build a portfolio app that actually solved a real problem. I just got hired at $75,000 a year. You changed my life. Thank you." Carter read it 3 times. Then he did something he'd been too afraid to do. He Googled successful people without degrees. The list appeared: Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Richard Branson, David Karp, who built Tumblr, Jack Dorsey and Evan Williams from Twitter. These people didn't succeed despite not having degrees. They succeeded because they built real value instead of chasing credentials. He found an article about a local entrepreneur, Miguel Torres, who dropped out and built an $8 million marketing agency. His office was 20 minutes away. Carter's hands shook as he found Miguel's email and typed, "Mr. Torres, I'm a dropout trying to build an education business. Everyone says I'm crazy. Can I buy you coffee for 15 minutes? I'll never waste your time again." The response came the next morning. "Tuesday, 9 a.m. Catalyst Coffee. Orders on me." Carter arrived at Catalyst Coffee at 8:40 a.m., 20 minutes early, sweating through his shirt despite the air conditioning. Miguel walked in at exactly 8:58. Casual blazer, grey touching his temples, carrying the kind of calm confidence that filled a room without trying. He ordered 2 espressos without asking Carter what he wanted. "So, dropped out? Family thinks you're insane, wondering if you made a massive mistake." Miguel's first words sitting down. "How did you—" "Because I sat exactly where you're sitting 12 years ago." Miguel reached into his wallet and pulled out 2 business cards, sliding them across the table. The first read, "Miguel Torres, MBA, Harvard Business School, former senior consultant, Deloitte." The second, "Miguel Torres, founder and CEO, Torres Digital, $8 million annual revenue. Guess which one I never got printed?" Miguel tapped the MBA card with one finger. Then he grabbed a napkin and drew 3 connected circles. He labelled them skills, results, relationships. The world doesn't care about your credentials, Carter. It cares about these 3 things. Miguel tapped each circle. Can you actually do the thing? Not regurgitate theories on an exam. Can you solve real problems? That's skills. Your coding tutorials are proof of skill. A degree would have been a credential, not proof. He tapped the second circle. What have you built that changed someone's life? That email you got from David? That's a result. That's worth more than any transcript. My first client was a website for my mum's salon. My marketing degree taught me consumer behaviour models. The salon website taught me how to actually help someone. The third circle. Who trusts you? David didn't hire you because of a degree. He trusted you because you showed up in his YouTube recommended feed and delivered value. Traditional path builds credentials. Alternative path builds proof. Miguel leaned back. "Carter, you're not a failure. You're not a dropout. You're a builder who realized the path everyone handed you wasn't built for builders. Stop trying to become qualified. Start becoming undeniable." He stood to leave, then paused. "I'm hosting a small business summit next month. 200 entrepreneurs, no investors, no academics, just people who build things. I need someone to teach a 30-minute workshop on digital products. Interested?" I've never done public speaking. I don't know if... Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Email me your workshop outline by Friday. Carter spent the next 3 weeks in terror. He prepared a workshop called How to Launch Your First Digital Product in 30 Days and rebuilt the presentation 6 times. He watched 47 YouTube videos on public speaking. He called 3 of his course customers and asked what they wished they'd known earlier. He rehearsed in the mirror until his voice went hoarse. Workshop day arrived. Carter's hands shook for the first 2 minutes. His voice cracked on the 3rd sentence. But then something shifted. The audience started nodding, taking notes, leaning forward. The Q&A session went 45 minutes over time because people wouldn't leave. 7 people asked for one-on-one coaching. Carter offered a $500 group coaching program to the workshop attendees. 12 people signed up that week. That's $6,000 in 1 day, more than his old scholarship paid in 3 months. He realized he'd been doing everything wrong. He'd been undercharging and underserving. Carter increased his course price from $47 to $297 and added live Q&A sessions and personalized project feedback. Sales dropped by volume, but revenue tripled. His first month, $8,400. The next 6 months were 80-hour weeks. Filming, coaching calls, student feedback, improving curriculum. His friends with corporate jobs worked 40 hours and got weekends. Carter worked 7 days straight, but it didn't feel like work. It felt like building something that mattered. He hired his first employee, Rachel, a student from his original course who'd struggled to find work without a degree. He paid her $15 an hour part-time to manage community questions. Another dropout now had income-proving skills mattered more than credentials. 6 months after that coffee with Miguel, Carter's monthly revenue hit $18,000. He had 340 students in his programs. Rachel was full-time, now at $45,000 salary. His mum still didn't fully understand, but she stopped asking when he'd go back to school. Then the threat appeared. A competitor launched a nearly identical coding course founded by an MIT graduate with an MBA, backed by $500,000 in venture funding, polished branding everywhere. Their LinkedIn ads read, "Learn to code from industry experts with real credentials." Carter's imposter syndrome roared back to life. Maybe people do want teachers with degrees. Maybe I'm a fraud. His sales dipped 30% in 2 weeks. But then he remembered Miguel's napkin. Skills, results, relationships. The competitor had credentials. What did Carter have? He opened his testimonials folder. 83 people hired. 34 earning as freelancers. 12 who'd built their own side businesses. Carter added a student wins page to his website with real names, real companies, real salary numbers. He did a live video addressing it directly. "I don't have a degree. Here's why that makes me a better teacher." His students flooded the competitors' ads with comments. "Carter's course got me hired. Credentials don't teach. Experience does." The competitors' videos were polished but too academic. Completion rates tanked. 3 months later, they shut down after burning through their funding. Carter's revenue climbed back to $22,000 a month. 3 years later, Carter walked past State University campus on his way to meet Miguel for coffee. A quarterly tradition now. He was 27. His company pulled in $2.3 million annually. He had a team of 8 employees, 6 of them from non-traditional backgrounds. Forbes had featured him in their 30 under 30 in education list. His courses had helped 2,400 students, and over 600 had landed jobs. He passed the building where Professor Anderson had warned him about throwing away his future. Carter felt no bitterness, only gratitude. If he'd stayed, he'd probably be a middle manager somewhere, resenting Mondays. At Miguel's office, over the same espresso, Carter said, "I never properly thanked you. That napkin framework saved my life." Miguel pulled out a worn napkin from his wallet. The original, 3 circles faded but visible. "Saved mine too. Someone drew this for me in 2009. He handed it to Carter. "Your turn to pass it on." Carter's phone buzzed. His mum had sent an article about him to the family group chat. Her message, "My son, I didn't understand, but I'm so proud." His dad's reply, "We both are." My friend, Carter's story is not about whether you should or shouldn't go to college. It's not about degrees being worthless. It's about understanding what you're actually building, credentials or proof. First, prioritize skills over credentials. The traditional path says get the degree, then you'll be qualified. The alternative path says build the skill, prove it publicly, become undeniable. What's one skill you could prove this week through a project, a video, or a post instead of just claiming you have it? Second, focus on results over resumes. The traditional path optimizes for impressive titles, brand name schools, years of experience. The alternative path optimizes for lives changed, problems solved, value created. Carter's customer testimonial meant more than his GPA ever did. Who has your work actually helped? Can you document that story? Third, build relationships over reputation. The traditional path builds networks through alumni associations and corporate hierarchies. The alternative path builds networks through generosity and public learning. Carter's relationship with Miguel started with humble outreach. His students became his advocates. Who's one person doing what you want to do? Can you reach out today? The degree might open the first door, but skills, results, and relationships keep you in the room. Credentials are borrowed authority. Proof is earned authority. You are not a dropout. You are not unqualified. You are not less than because you're on a different timeline. You are a builder. You are someone who creates value. You are proving your worth through action, not permission. Stop comparing your Chapter 3 to someone else's Chapter 12. Stop waiting for permission to build the life you want. Stop believing there's only one definition of success. If this story reminded you that there are multiple paths to the same destination, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's doubting their path. Someone who's been told they're not enough. I'll be back with another story to help you grow. Until then, remember that credentials open doors, but proof builds houses. Your path is valid. Your journey is enough.